Welcome, beautiful souls, to today's journey. Maya of the mind. Reprogram negative thoughts for success. Think about it. How many times have negative thoughts stopped you from reaching your true potential? How often have doubts, fears, or silent inner battles stolen opportunities right from your hands? You are not alone. Every great thinker, every successful leader, and even Maya Angelou herself faced storms of negativity. But here's the secret. They didn't let those storms define them. They learned to rise above. In this video, we'll explore how to transform your inner voice, silence negativity, and reprogram your mind for success, guided by the timeless wisdom of Maya Angelou. So, if you've ever felt trapped by your own thoughts, stay with me till the end, because this journey might just be the turning point your soul has been waiting for. The mind is a powerful force. More powerful than most of us realize. Every achievement, every invention, every change in history began first as a thought. Our inner world shapes the way we experience the outer world. If the mind is filled with doubt and fear, then the world feels heavy and impossible to navigate. But if the mind is trained to see possibility, courage, and hope, then even the most difficult circumstances can be turned into stepping stones toward success. This is why understanding the power of the mind is the very first step to transforming negative thoughts and creating a life that feels abundant, meaningful, and free. Psychology and neuroscience confirm what Maya Angelou expressed so beautifully through her wisdom and poetry. Our brains are not fixed. Through a process called neuroplasticity, the brain can rewire itself according to the patterns we feed it. If we constantly think, "I'm not good enough," that belief becomes a well-traveled path in the brain, making it easier to fall into self-doubt and fear. But the reverse is also true. If we practice positive affirmations, such as "I am capable," "I am worthy," "I am ready for success," then new neural pathways are created, allowing confidence and resilience to grow stronger every day. Maya Angelou's life was a living example of this truth. She rose from silence, trauma, and difficulty to become one of the most celebrated voices in history. Because she chose to master her inner dialogue instead of being mastered by it. Maya once said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." This simple yet profound statement reveals the secret to inner strength. Life will always bring challenges, rejection, disappointment, but what truly defines us is the way we choose to interpret those experiences. Two people can face the same hardship, yet one will see only defeat while the other finds a lesson, an opening, or even a hidden opportunity. The difference is not in the event itself, but in the mindset that shapes the story around it. Negative thoughts, if left unchecked, carry a hidden cost. They do not stay confined to the mind but eventually spill into every area of life. They affect how we treat ourselves, how we show up in relationships, and even how much success we allow ourselves to experience. Persistent negativity increases stress, lowers self-esteem, and closes doors to opportunities that require courage and self-belief. Over time, these thoughts can even affect physical health by keeping the body locked in cycles of stress and fatigue. But awareness changes everything. The moment we recognize a negative thought and question it, we break the automatic pattern. Asking ourselves, "Is this thought serving me, or is it holding me back?" creates a space where transformation can begin. This awareness is the doorway to reprogramming the mind. It allows us to see that negative beliefs are not permanent truths but habits that can be replaced with empowering ones. Maya Angelou understood this deeply. Her life shows us that when you refuse to be defined by your pain, your past, or your doubts, you discover the freedom to rewrite your story. Understanding the power of the mind is not about ignoring challenges or pretending life is easy. It is about realizing that no matter what happens, you always hold the power to choose your response, your interpretation, and your next step. As we move forward in this journey, keep this truth close. The mind is not your enemy. It can be your greatest ally once you learn how to guide it. And in the next part of this series, we will explore how Maya Angelou's timeless wisdom on inner strength can become the key that helps you rise above negativity and step fully into your power. Maya Angelou's life was more than poetry, more than best-selling books, and more than her captivating presence on stage. Her life itself was a message, a living testimony of resilience, faith, and inner strength. When we talk about reprogramming negative thoughts for success, few voices echo louder and clearer than hers. She was not only a poet of words but a poet of survival, a woman who turned hardship into art, silence into song, and pain into power. To understand how we can strengthen our own minds, we must first listen to the wisdom that Maya carried within her spirit and shared with the world. Inner strength, for Maya, was not about ignoring pain or pretending struggles did not exist. It was about confronting them with honesty, courage, and dignity. One of her most powerful quotes captures this beautifully: "You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated." These words are more than inspiration. They are a blueprint for resilience. Maya teaches us that defeat is not the end, but rather a teacher along the path. When life pushes us down, inner strength is what allows us to rise again, wiser and stronger than before. What made Maya's wisdom so transformative is that it came from experience, not theory. She endured racism, abuse, and unimaginable struggles in her early life. And yet she refused to let those experiences define her worth. Instead, she used them as fuel to build her voice, her art, and her legacy. In doing so, she showed the world that true inner strength does not come from living an easy life, but from rising through a difficult one with grace and determination. This is a lesson every one of us can take into our own journey. Pain is inevitable, but suffering in silence is a choice. The choice to rise is always available. Maya Angelou often spoke about the importance of self-belief. She reminded us that the way we see ourselves directly influences the way we move through the world. She once said, "If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be." Here, she invites us to step away from conformity and step into courage. Negative thoughts often come from comparison, from measuring ourselves against others or against society's unrealistic expectations. But Maya's wisdom calls us back to authenticity, to embrace who we are, with all our flaws and strengths, and to recognize that our uniqueness is our greatest gift. The beauty of Maya Angelou's message is that it is both deeply personal and universally relevant. She reminds us that strength is not about never falling. It is about the courage to stand tall each time we do. In the face of rejection, she chose creativity. In the face of doubt, she chose to keep writing. In the face of obstacles, she chose to keep speaking her truth. Her life demonstrates that inner strength is not loud or boastful, it is quiet, steady, and unwavering. It is the daily decision to keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. For those of us seeking to reprogram negative thoughts, Maya's wisdom offers a clear direction. Nurture your inner strength by shifting your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why me?" begin asking, "What can this teach me?" Instead of focusing on what you have lost, focus on what you still have and what you can build. Inner strength is not about ignoring weakness, but about knowing that weakness does not define you. It is the willingness to stand in your truth, believe in your worth, and trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is an act of victory. Maya Angelou's life shows us that the journey to success begins inside the mind. If we want to rise above negativity, we must cultivate the same resilience, courage, and authenticity that she lived every single day. Her words still echo across generations, because they touch a truth we all recognize: the greatest strength we will ever find is already within us. All we need to do is believe in it, nurture it, and let it guide us forward as we continue in this journey. The next step will take us even deeper into the process of reprogramming negative thoughts using both the science of the mind and the spirit of Maya's wisdom. This is where her legacy meets our daily lives, and where transformation becomes not only possible, but inevitable. If the mind is the soil where our future grows, then our thoughts are the seeds we plant every single day. Some seeds are bright with possibilities, seeds of hope, courage, and gratitude. Others are dark and heavy seeds of fear, doubt, and negativity. What we feed, what we water, is what eventually grows into the reality we live. This is why reprogramming negative thoughts is not just a motivational idea. It is both a scientific process and a spiritual practice. It is the bridge between the brain and the soul, where transformation truly begins. From a scientific perspective, the way we think literally shapes the way our brains are wired. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to change and adapt based on repeated patterns of thought and behavior. When we constantly dwell on self-doubt or rehearse fears in our mind, we strengthen those neural pathways, making negativity a default setting. But when we practice positive affirmations, mindfulness, and intentional focus, we carve out new pathways that support confidence, creativity, and resilience. In other words, the brain learns what we teach it. If we keep teaching it fear, it learns fear. If we keep teaching it faith, it learns faith. But science alone does not tell the full story. This is where spirituality enters the picture. Spiritual wisdom, echoed in Maya Angelou's teachings, reminds us that our thoughts are not random, they carry energy. They shape not only how we feel but also how we attract experiences into our lives. Maya often spoke about rising above the voices that tried to diminish her, choosing instead to align her inner world with strength and purpose. She lived with the belief that words, whether spoken aloud or whispered in the mind, carry the power to create or destroy. Words are things, she once said, emphasizing the responsibility we hold in the language we use with ourselves. Reprogramming negative thoughts, therefore, begins with awareness. The first step is to notice the stories we are telling ourselves. How often do we say, "I can't, I'm not good enough," or "things never work out for me"? These thoughts may feel harmless, but they are shaping the direction of our lives in subtle yet powerful ways. Once we catch these patterns, we can begin to shift them. Science calls it cognitive reframing, while spirituality calls it renewing the mind. Both point to the same truth. When you change the way you think, you change the way you live. Practical steps are simple but powerful. Begin by replacing negative thoughts with empowering affirmations. Instead of "I always fail," declare, "Every failure is preparing me for success." Instead of "I'm not worthy," affirm, "I am deserving of love, joy, and abundance." Over time, these statements move from mere words to deeply rooted beliefs. Pair these affirmations with visualization. Imagine yourself succeeding, thriving, and walking in strength. The brain does not always distinguish between imagination and reality, which means visualization activates the same neural pathways as real experience, training the mind for success even before it arrives. Spiritually, practices like prayer, meditation, and gratitude become powerful tools to reprogram the heart and mind. They lift us beyond the noise of fear and connect us with a higher source of strength. Gratitude, in particular, has been proven by both science and spiritual traditions to rewire the brain toward positivity. Each time we pause to acknowledge what we are thankful for, we are shifting focus from what is missing to what is present, from lack to abundance. Maya Angelou embodied this practice. She often spoke of gratitude as a daily ritual, a way of anchoring herself in hope even when circumstances were difficult. The journey of reprogramming negative thoughts is not about pretending challenges do not exist. It is about choosing not to be enslaved by them. It is about replacing the voice of doubt with the voice of truth, replacing fear with faith, and replacing despair with determination. Science shows us that it is possible. Spirituality reminds us why it matters, and Maya Angelou's wisdom demonstrates how it looks in practice. She did not rise above negativity by chance. She rose because she made a decision every day to guide her mind toward strength and possibility. As we take these lessons into our own lives, let us remember that reprogramming the mind is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Each thought is a choice, each affirmation a seed, and each moment of awareness a chance to create a different future. The mind can be a prison, or it can be a garden. The choice of what we grow inside it is always ours. In the next part of this journey, we will explore daily practices and affirmations inspired by Maya Angelou. Practical tools that you can use to reprogram your inner voice and step boldly into the success and freedom you deserve. Reprogramming negative thoughts is not something that happens overnight. It is a journey, a process that requires intention, patience, and consistency. Maya Angelou understood this better than most. Her life was not free of struggle, but her strength came from the way she practiced resilience every single day. She cultivated habits that shaped her inner world, and those habits became the foundation for her success. If we want to follow her example, we must adopt practices that feed the mind, nurture the spirit, and replace fear with courage. One of the most powerful tools for transformation is the practice of daily affirmations. Affirmations are not just positive phrases. They are reminders of truth, anchors that ground us when negativity tries to take over. Maya herself believed deeply in the power of words. She once said, "Words are things. You must be careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that. Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. They get on the walls, they get in your wallpaper, they get in your rugs, in your upholstery, and your clothes, and finally into you." She knew that the words we speak, whether to others or to ourselves, shape the environment we live in. This is why affirmations matter. They plant seeds of empowerment that gradually replace the weeds of doubt. Start small with affirmations that resonate with you. For example, I am worthy of love and success. I choose courage over fear. My past does not define my future. I rise above negativity and walk in strength. Repeat these every morning, aloud if possible, and again before bed. Over time, they begin to shift not only your thoughts but your feelings, your actions, and ultimately, your results. Science confirms this too. Consistent repetition of affirmations activates new neural pathways, making positivity more natural and automatic. Beyond affirmations, gratitude practices are another powerful daily ritual. Maya Angelou often spoke about being thankful, even in difficult times. Gratitude shifts focus away from what is missing and toward what is already present, which naturally reprograms the mind to see abundance instead of lack. Try keeping a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things each day that you are thankful for. They don't have to be big sometimes. The smallest blessings carry the most power. A kind smile, a warm meal, or even the courage to face another day. Gratitude strengthens resilience, making it easier to face challenges with hope. Another daily practice inspired by Maya is the habit of reading and reflection. She immersed herself in literature, poetry, and stories that fed her soul and expanded her vision. We can do the same by choosing to consume uplifting content, books, podcasts, or videos that remind us of our worth and potential. Feeding the mind with positive input creates a stronger defense against the negativity that surrounds us in everyday life. Meditation and mindfulness also play an important role. While Maya did not always speak directly about meditation in the modern sense, she embodied mindfulness through her presence and awareness. Taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and center yourself helps calm the noise of the mind. It creates space to observe negative thoughts without being controlled by them. Spiritual traditions across the world echo this truth. When we learn to quiet the mind, we make room for clarity, creativity, and strength. Finally, one of the most inspiring practices we can learn from Maya Angelou is the act of service and kindness. She believed that strength grows when we give to others. By lifting someone else, we lift ourselves. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, break the cycle of negativity by reminding us of connection and purpose. When you choose to smile at a stranger, encourage a friend, or share a word of hope, you are not only reprogramming your own mind, but also planting seeds of positivity in the world around you. Daily practices and affirmations may seem simple, but they carry extraordinary power. They transform the invisible landscape of the mind, shaping it day by day until strength, resilience, and faith become your natural state. Maya Angelou's life reminds us that greatness is not built in a single moment, it is built in the small choices we make daily, the words we repeat, the gratitude we express, and the kindness we share. As we move into the final part of this journey, we will explore how to take these practices and embody them fully, living a life of success and legacy that reflects Maya Angelou's timeless message. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. Success is often misunderstood as something measured only by wealth, status, or recognition. But Maya Angelou redefined success in a way that touches the heart and soul. For her, success was not about comparison or competition. It was about authenticity, growth, and impact. She famously said, "Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it." This definition shifts the focus inward, reminding us that true success begins not with external validation but with inner alignment. To live a life of success and legacy, we must learn to embrace this truth. Success is not something we chase. It is something we cultivate from within. Maya Angelou's life offers a powerful blueprint. She endured struggles that could have silenced her voice forever, yet she chose to rise. She did not allow negativity, trauma, or fear to define her destiny. Instead, she built her life on resilience, creativity, and compassion. Her legacy was not only her poetry, books, or speeches, it was the way she lived, the way she inspired others, and the way she turned her pain into purpose. This is the essence of building a legacy, not simply achieving personal victories, but leaving behind something that uplifts and empowers others. To live with this kind of legacy, we must first embrace self-belief. Negative thoughts may whisper that we are not enough, but Maya's wisdom teaches us that we are always more than we imagine. When we reprogram our minds with affirmations, gratitude, and mindful practices, we create the foundation for a meaningful life. Inner strength becomes the fuel that allows us to keep moving forward, even when the road feels uncertain. This is success in its truest form, the ability to rise each day with courage and authenticity. Another lesson from Maya Angelou's life is the importance of service and impact. She believed that our lives find meaning when we give back to others. Whether through words, actions, or kindness, every positive contribution becomes part of our legacy. You do not need to be a world-renowned poet to inspire change. Small acts of encouragement, love, and compassion ripple outward in ways you may never see. Success is not only what you achieve, but also what you help others to achieve through your presence and support. Living a life of success and legacy also requires authenticity. Maya encouraged people to embrace who they are, without apology or pretense. She reminded us that trying to be normal limits our potential, while embracing our uniqueness sets us free. Your story, your voice, and your journey are unlike anyone else's, and that is your power. When you live authentically, you leave behind a legacy that is real, relatable, and unforgettable. From a spiritual perspective, Maya's message was always about rising above. Her iconic poem, Still I Rise, captures the spirit of resilience that defined her life and continues to inspire millions. The refrain reminds us that no matter the obstacles, we carry the strength to rise again and again. Living a life of legacy means embodying this resilience, showing others through our actions that setbacks are temporary but courage is eternal. Practically, creating a legacy begins with the choices we make every day. It is built through the words we speak, the habits we practice, and the values we embody. Each day becomes an opportunity to live with intention, to choose gratitude over bitterness, to choose faith over fear, and to choose love over judgment. When we consistently make these choices, we not only shape our own success but also inspire those around us to do the same. Maya Angelou's journey reminds us that legacy is not about perfection, it is about persistence. It is not about avoiding defeat, but about refusing to be defeated. If we take her wisdom into our own lives, we can create success that lasts far beyond our lifetime, a success that inspires generations to come. As we close this journey on reprogramming negative thoughts for success, remember that the mind is your most powerful tool. When guided with awareness, strength, and love, it can lift you beyond negativity and help you live a life that is both successful and deeply meaningful. And just like Maya Angelou, you too can rise. Not just for yourself, but for the countless lives you will touch along the way. As we close this journey, inspired by Maya Angelou's wisdom, remember that your mind is the key to your freedom. Negative thoughts may come, but they do not define you. You have the power to reprogram them into strength, courage, and success. Like Maya, you can rise, no matter what life places in your path. If this message inspired you, I invite you to join the community by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribing for more content on success, resilience, and inner growth. Comment below with your favorite Maya Angelou quote. I'd love to hear from you.